Cheers! Welcome to MovieBitches!
Episode 284. Tonight we're reviewing Barbie. First things first, shout out to our Patreon supporters. $5 a month gets you ad-free early access. $10 gets you access to our viewing parties. Second things second, make sure to subscribe, share, pink share in this movie.
Pink share.
Well, she would have to be in pink because it's Barbie.
Pink share, you say?
I feel like I would be into that.
As?
Something. Doesn't matter. Just a cameo from Cher.
Original, OG Barbie is...
I mean...
Well, there's been a Cher doll,
right,
obviously.
Right. Oh.
Please stop staring. Yes, it's Cher.
I'd be into more campy, stupid weirdness in this movie, yeah.
I thought this had a lot... Well, we'll get into it. But yes, make sure to subscribe, click that thumbs up button, click the bell, follow us on Instagram and Twitter and TikTok and Letterboxd, all of those good places. So, Barbie. The much anticipated, I don't know what, promoted.
The heavily marketed. I mean...
They nailed the marketing, I think.
I think the marketing's the best part of the whole movie.
Oh, stop.
No, I do. I think that they fucking nailed it, and it achieved what it was attempting.
Yes. Well, I think also Barbie is an easy thing to market.
Well, it was already built in.
Exactly.
I
right.
mean,
Mattel was
they had the funds.
Yes.
They had this. It's set up. It was ready to go.
But I miss these days of like movie marketing. Oh, and the Happy Meal, you get a whatever, and I feel like that was the heyday of mid to late 90s.
Do you miss those days?
I don't know. It was, yes, because it makes a movie feel like an event.
Yes.
And I think
they
that's
did a
why
great job.
This movie, and obviously, right, the Barbenheimer of it all.
Yes.
It made it a movie-going event where it was a pop culture moment where everyone was like sharing this shared experience.
Did you see it yet? You have to see it. If you don't see it,
you don't have an opinion
on the outs.
Exactly. What are you going to talk about around the water cooler? That.
Yes.
I like those things just because it.
No, I get that.
It's fun.
Yeah.
And I think that Marvel, there's so many of them at this point.
Sure.
They're not doing that for everyone. They don't have to.
Well, and it's a different, beast.
Yes. I feel like, it was always Batman and...
Right now, there are 4 Batman Returns toys at McDonald's.
That kind of stuff were the movies that they would do it for.
Yeah.
And so the idea that this Greta Gerwig Barbie movie also gets that treatment, to me, is pretty cool.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, it is Barbie, probably the best-selling toy or whatever of all time.
Yeah, I mean, they've got it. It's built in. Like I said, they had a good foundation for the marketing.
Yeah.
That's just what I mean when I say that I think the marketing was the most successful thing. Because for me, by the end of this movie, spoiler alert, I was like, oh, I feel a little bit duped by the marketing. Yeah. I thought this was going to be a fun summer movie that was going to be catchy, fun, exciting, and silly. And it was heavy and preachy and way too much for me. And by the end, I was not like, yay, women and Barbie. I was like, man, I am depressed.
Really? I didn't find it depressing. I didn't find it heavy either. I thought it was I think it was all of the things. I think it was everything that you just said. Both in what you thought it was going to be and what it was. There were summery, silly, jokey things.
Yep.
And there were, I don't know if I would go so far as to say preachy, although sure, right, it was heavy-handed.
The movie was really interested in telling me how to feel instead of showing me how to feel, and I don't respond well to that personally. Right. So I was like, by the end, even though obviously I agree with most of what they're saying, I'm like, no, I got it though. But you've already, okay, who are you trying to convince?
Well, sure.
Also, who's the audience for this movie? It's not children.
No, it's 40-year-old women who had Barbies and are now millennials.
Isn't that wild?
Have children.
Isn't that weird?
A little, but isn't that, why not?
Well, okay. Yeah.
She made the movie that's why all of the references were for us.
But they marketed the movie, at least in my mind, like it was a kid's movie.
No, they did not at all.
I thought so.
The 2001 A Space Odyssey shot-for-shot teaser?
I mean, everyone's done that.
Christian said he'd call the next day, but in boy time that meant Thursday.
I think, no, but like, it's Barbie.
Who's done that?
Mel Brooks.
And the ape stood and became man.
When? 40 years ago?
Exactly.
So Avaryl. No, everyone hasn't done that. That's not fair.
Yes.
No, they haven't.
That joke is in Catch-22.
But it's not the same thing.
I
but
really
also,
actually liked that opening.
I did too.
I'm just saying this, like, going in, did you think this movie was going to be PG-13?
Yeah.
I did not. I don't know. Maybe I just missed it.
I guess you did.
I was
to
like,
me, all of the marketing was, this movie's going to be weird.
Yeah.
Not, because to me, it made it seem like, well, they knew that they had anyone who wants a Barbie or has a Barbie is going to want to go see the Barbie movie. So they don't have to convince the 8-year-olds to bring their moms to go see Barbie because they're already going to want to go. So instead it was like, oh, 40-year-olds who don't really think that they would want to go see the kids movie. This isn't a kids movie. This is a weird Ryan Gosling.
8-year-olds are going to like this movie?
I don't know. I think there's a lot. I think so. I think there's a lot that they will latch onto. It's not a kids movie, but maybe isn't that nice, as we've been seeing through summer camp, that movies that aren't made just to be super saccharine, stupid kids movies.
There's a difference between like saccharine and just, I don't know. Okay, so regardless of the politics and the, is it feminist, is it not feminist, of it all, the whole conversation that's like going around the whole movie, sure, whatever, people are gonna come out on either side of it, and there's no right answer. It's both of those things to different people. I don't know if there's a way to make this movie without pissing off someone.
Sure.
And so...
Unless you make it a cartoon that's completely vapid.
No, but even then
pointless.
people would be mad.
Probably.
Even then people would be mad. On a base level, I didn't think this was a good movie. I thought the script was not great. I thought the plot was non-existent. I thought there was no motivation for anyone to do anything, and so I was bored.
I get some of that.
I'll say that.
And I think you are correct in that there was a lot of telling and not showing. There was a lot of speechifying, although I thought that like America Ferrera's speech was great.
Like, you have to be thin, but not too thin. And you can never say you want to be thin. You have to say you want to be healthy, but also you have to be thin.
It was great, but it was...
somewhat unearned almost?
I wasn't, well, it was out of nowhere.
Right?
I was like, great. Right, that's what's awful about being a woman. Okay, thanks movie.
You have to answer for men's bad behavior, which is insane, but if you point that out, you're accused of complaining.
Like, for me, it was not a rallying cry of, yeah, women. It was...
We have to always be extraordinary. But somehow we're always doing it wrong.
Fuck. Yeah, that's, wow. We really can't win. And so, like, I wasn't cheering.
It's too hard. It's too contradictory, and nobody gives you a medal or says thank you. And it turns out, in fact, that not only are you doing everything wrong, but also everything is your fault.
But then they do win.
Do they?
They outsmart the idiot men, and they put things back on the track that they wanted, right?
But that was my other problem. I don't think Barbie Land in the before time was that great.
No.
And I don't think Barbie Land, obviously, in the, the
Mojo Dojo.
In the Bizarro world was great. So at the end, when they were like, let's just put everything back the way it was, I was like...
But they didn't.
It was basically the same.
I mean, I guess. It seemed like, I thought that her speech of the... you need to find out who you are, to Ken, was helpful.
I think that should have happened halfway through the movie.
Absolutely. And then he should have spent the movie finding out
Because
who he was.
Every male character in this movie is an idiot, vapid, useless, and one-dimensional.
Right, and I think we
And
talked about
really,
this before in like the flippage of those norms, right?
Yeah.
And so how sometimes that can be kind of fun and refreshing.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I feel like my critique of those stereotypes for, you know, female rom-com interests or whatever, right, is not that it's misogynistic, which I mean it is, but also that that's bad filmmaking.
It's
having
not
a
interesting.
character who's an idiot with nothing to do is boring.
It's boring. And all of the... Well, okay, so I guess I would say this. Did you go see Barbie? Did you like it? I don't think I'd recommend it. I didn't like it.
I had a lot of fun in a lot of parts of it.
So there's that.
I thought there was a lot of references, which were our kind of references. I thought visually it was a lot of references. It was gorgeous.
I'll
to
say
look
this,
at.
the production design.
Yeah, they spent money.
Oh, of course they did.
And they used practical sets and
Loved
effects.
the sets.
Loved that.
I was obsessed with the ambulance. I was sad when all of that went away and we didn't see it for so long because I was like, this is what was keeping me going.
Sure.
These are the positives. Margot Robbie's outfit, fabulous.
Oh, she was great.
Margot Robbie's fucking wigs. Fabulous. Holy shit, were they fabulous. Wow. Like, I was like, damn, girl. Those wigs are good.
Yeah.
And yes, I thought Margot Robbie did a fine job with a character that was nothing.
I don't think it was nothing, but I do understand what you're saying. I think you could have done a better job of telling this story, which again, what is the story, right?
Okay,
the
so
story
the plot
is basically
is
perfect, stereotypical Barbie, lives in Barbie land, this, you know, FCI, this fabulous Coont Island of a place.
Except that, no, I was so frustrated that I got the joke. Oh, hi, Barbie. Hi, Barbie. Hi, Barbie.
Hi, Barbie. Hi, Barbie. Hi, Barbie. Hi, Barbie. Hi, Barbie.
Hi, Barbie.
Hi, Barbie.
Hi, Barbie.
Hi, Ken. Hi, Barbie.
I'm perfect. Everyone was the same. No one had personality. I was so bored. And I guess that's sort of the point. But then by the end, their only personality traits were their jobs.
That is true.
I am president. I am astronaut.
That is true.
I am doctor. And it was like, but like, what else you got going on?
And that's actually a really interesting point.
I was just so bored. Anyway, so yeah.
No, I get it. And it was this balance, right, of like all of them are generic toys.
So I get the point.
Right.
But also
but then
not
at
a good
the same
movie.
time, they're supposedly influenced by the person playing with them.
Okay, so this is where the movie breaks down. The plot doesn't make any sense.
And it's like, okay.
Because I'm going, oh, so each Barbie should have the personality of the corresponding kid character that's in the movie.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm goth girl. I mean, it can be, you know, a little more exciting than stereotype, but at least that they were all different. And like, oh God, Kelly's playing with her today. You know what that means.
Yeah.
You heard me, Cynthia. You're cranky and you need a nap. So take a nap.
Something where we're like, if we're connecting to the real world really, then really do it.
Yeah.
But the first 15 minutes, hi Barbie, hi Ken, hi Ken, hi Barbie, hi. I was like, oh my God.
Hi, Barbie.
Hi, Ken. Hi, Barbie. Hi, Barbie.
Hi, Barbie. Hi, Ken. Hi, Ken. Hi, Ken.
And I was like, thank God for the sets. I'm really into this. So what was going on then? Was no one playing with them? I was trying to remember, like, okay, when I was playing with Barbies. Because I would say I liked Barbies.
Okay.
Yeah, but see, there's a difference between like and love. Because I like my Skechers, but I love my Prada backpack.
Whatever I could play soap opera with was fine by me.
Sure.
If I was playing soap opera with He-Man dolls, that was fine. If I was playing with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, that was fine. If I was playing with Hot Wheels, yeah, I did it. Yes, I had a soap opera that was exclusively Hot Wheels cars. Like I put the personality into the
Wheels
doll.
of Our Lives.
Yes!
I'm here for that.
Oh, it was extensive. There was family dramas.
Oh, good.
Interpersonal things were going on.
I love that.
Basically anything that could be a telenovela. And so I was like, Barbie is a blank slate.
Yeah.
Because you're supposed to
project
your personality and your interests onto this idealized person or whatever.
Right. And I think part of the movie was supposed to be her discovering that she could have a personality, that she could have a personhood, right? That's where it ends. But it is an odd thing.
It was weird. Well, there's just, once you start going, wait, why? Wait, what? Like, so, Okay, so the plot is Barbie, everything's perfect. La, la, la. Men are useless and do nothing, and they serve us, and we are all perfect, but we don't really know why.
Right.
We just because we are. Okay, fair enough. And then something's going wrong. Barbie's having ennui and an existential crisis.
Do you guys ever think of dying?
Huh.
You guys ever think about dying?
And then has to go to Weird Barbie,
Kate McKinnon.
to Kate McKinnon, to find out what the meaning of life is, you know, and has to go
Cellulose.
to the... Oh, cellulite. I
Cellulite.
didn't care for that at all.
What is that? That's cellulite. That's gonna spread everywhere. And then you're gonna start getting sad and mushy and complicated. No!
No.
That Barbie's entire motivation to get the plot started was, I can't have cellulite.
Like, you have to be thin, but not too thin. And you can never say you want to be thin. You have to say you want to be healthy, but also you have to be thin.
But the whole movie's trying to be so inclusive and like everyone is perfect. It can't have it both ways. You know what I mean?
Like, that's where, for me, America Ferrera's speech is.
Yeah.
Of like, why can't there just be an ordinary Barbie? Of
Well,
like,
I mean, that's a terrible idea.
for a toy. Or is it? I don't know.
Terrible idea.
Why? If you can make a soap opera with Hot Wheels, then why wouldn't a Barbie that is just not the pressure of being perfect? It's just, this is a doll that looks like a regular person.
But what's her clothes situation? What's the clothes situation?
I don't know.
That's what
J. Crew.
That's what matters, you know. That's what mattered to me.
Old Navy.
So yeah, I'm not playing with that Barbie.
Or you can dress it up with whatever you want. I don't fucking know.
Well, I think
why
it
can't
was,
an ordinary Barbie have fabulous clothes?
It was interesting too, because she's ordinary, Andrew.
But the clothes don't have to be. Maybe her personality isn't ordinary, but her body is.
Sure. I thought it was kind of a weird messaging that like almost like don't have a fantasy, you know? Like kind of the idea of Barbie or playing or toys is like you're having a fantasy and you're imagining and creating things.
Mm-hmm.
And by the end of this, it was sort of like, no, don't have that fantasy.
No, I don't think
You
it was that.
know?
I think it was don't feel the pressure to be a Nobel laureate and in order to feel like you're a good enough woman. Like you said, there's no way to make this movie without frustrating someone or whatever. I think this movie had a lot to grapple with. And what they wanted to kind of focus on was this idea that, oh, okay, so the toy that let us not have to be mothers said then you have to be a space, astronaut or whatever. And it's like, why can't we just be people? Like, I don't know. And there was a lot of pressure that then becomes, in order to be extraordinary, that's the only way you can be a successful woman.
Sure. I just feel like that's very heady for a child to try and watch a Barbie movie and be like, wow, now I have even more.
Yeah, but there was a bunch of sparkle and fun and nonsense along the way. That's why I think...
It just really slowed down for me when there was nothing going on.
It did slow down.
Oh, right. Okay, so she has to go to the real world and Ken tags along and guess what? The real world's crap.
For her and great for him.
This was also a lot, I don't know, it felt a little bit slightly dated. Like, it's those catcalling construction guys.
Oh, you got fries with that
If I said you had a hot body, would you hold it against me?
Is that a mirror in your pocket?
Baby, you are an
I can see myself in your shorts.
80s sexism?
Yeah,
somehow?
although, I think that's still a thing, but yes.
I just don't know how, because every single male character was an idiot, useless, terrible,
or in
sexist,
the real world, an asshole, and
all of it. Yeah. It was just like, I had nothing to engage with all of that.
Well, and I felt like that was my frustration with it too, was that the conversation around men was one note. There's no healthy...
There's no in between.
There's
it was black and white.
Yeah,
we hate men, or we have to be completely in charge, or not at all.
Right. And I was just like, that. I felt like there was more nuance to be had of a conversation.
Yes.
Of also, like, why weren't there particularly...
Homosexuals.
Well, thank you.
Okay.
And I was going to say, if it's kids playing, why weren't there two Kens making out?
Honestly.
Or
why
bashing their
why
faces
wasn't anyone
against each
making
other
out? Because a lot of Barbie Land was very G-rated, and I was like, I don't know about you guys, but
the Barbies were...
My Barbies were smashing.
Yeah.
So I don't know about you guys.
And twisting.
Yes, no, yeah, oh, your helmet is so big.
By the end, I just was like, I'm so disengaged with the black and white of it, the all or nothing, you know, and so I was just like, ah. But so yes, they go to the real world, and it's terrible, terrible, terrible for women. Yeah. But men, it's A-okay and great.
Century City, it's great.
It still felt dated somehow, but there's a lot of really nice guys who aren't asshole, vapid idiots.
Well,
you know?
right.
So I was just like, come on, we can show one.
Right, like
give me one.
Well, and
even America Ferrera's husband, fucking idiot. Dad, you suck. We hate you. I was like, Jesus Christ. But okay, so when Ryan Gosling goes to Century City and it's the apex of maledom.
What's up, man? We got a man up on this one.
Great workout, man.
We're in the gym and we're doing, and I was like, oh great, so this is gonna be the scene where Ken realizes he's a homosexual. I'm so excited because they were all like working out and being like a lot.
Yeah.
And so I was like,
no.
At the gym?
Yeah.
If he had found himself halfway through, I mean, Mattel would never, because obviously a lot of the things that they wanted to say or couldn't say or wanted to be more critical or wanted to be this or that was hampered by the fact that Mattel is producing this movie.
Well,
and they
sure.
want to sell
sure
Barbies
yes.
and they're not going to, there was a whole thing about, you know, Barbie Girl's not in this, the song.
I'm a Barbie.
Because they hated that song. They thought it disparaged the idea of Barbie, which it did, and that's why we all loved it, because it was being all cheeky about it. So it's like, obviously, she's in a lane that you can't veer too far in one direction or another.
Right.
But I did think if he had found himself.
I like that. This felt personal from like what I could imagine would be Greta Gerwig's first time at CAA, and it's just this pool of disgusting,
just like bros,
bro men, and it's the boys club of Hollywood, and was like that was her.
This also felt very specifically like her personal experience, like you just said, with things. Yes, of course, that's a story a lot of people can tell, but like Midwesty moms, I don't know if they're going to connect with the
it was a lot of
things.
Hollywood.
It was a lot of Hollywood,
references.
So I don't know.
California, like Los Angeles references, right? I don't know if everyone's getting the Century City jokes.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
Or the car commercial that was in the middle of this movie.
Oh, can we talk about how annoyed I was when she was having that high-speed chase with with her Chevy Equinox electric car that was going vroom vroom, and I was like, it doesn't make those noises. It's electric.
I gotta lose these chuckleheads.
Why bother having an it was clear that GM was like, we will throw all of the money at you to use our electric cars. There's a Chevy Bolt in the background. All electric cars except for the fucking Cadillac Escalades that Will Ferrell was in. He's, passé. The future is electric.
We'll talk about...
To put the noises in just drives me crazy.
And the disgusting orange seatbelts.
Oh, I missed the orange seatbelts.
How could you miss the orange seatbelts,
I don't know.
Andrew?
Wow.
They were disgusting. Yeah. That was all I could see.
That feels like it's gonna get dirty.
Yes.
Really quick.
Wow. Okay, so the plot, right. So she has to go to the real world and
she thinks that the girl playing with her, she gets a vision, is this bury that.
Ooh, Jaden, I just got a vision. You might be lip syncing for your life tomorrow, baby.
Yeah.
She thinks it's a child.
She thinks it's like a 15-year-old or whatever.
Yeah.
Who's over it. And instead, it was America Ferrera, the 15-year-old's mother, who is in despair because her child doesn't want to be with her anymore.
Now, had America Ferrera and the daughter been the main characters of this movie, this twist would have been actually interesting and had any kind of stakes or whatever.
I think we could have started in a different way.
I really think so.
I don't
Maybe the credits are Barbie Land.
Sure.
Oh, hi Ken.
Yeah.
Something, and then, oh no, earthquake, in Barbie Land.
Exactly.
And, we see hands playing.
Sure.
We can't, you can maybe tell it's an adult's hands, but you know what I mean? Something where it's a little more, and then we meet America Ferrera, oh, my daughter, and what. That's a movie to get the moms excited about. There was no main character.
No, because it was supposed to be Barbie, but it wasn't Barbie.
But it wasn't
was America
Barbie.
Ferrera, but then
she's
it was
barely in the movie.
She's in the movie for.
She doesn't show up till half an hour in, and then she's sort of just there.
Yeah, 20, 30.
For a while, and then she gives a big speech, and then she's sort of there for a while.
I think she.
It's not that she was a bad actress. She just wasn't in that much of the movie.
You're right. She's in half of it.
She was kind of, hanging around. So anyway, Barbie goes to the real world, realizes she has to find the girl who's playing with her and cheer her up. And she ends up now, okay, I don't know how to make heads or tails of this. Mattel knows that Barbie has escaped Barbie Land.
Yeah.
Keeps vaguely referencing that
if this got out, this could mean extremely weird things for our world. This would be catastrophic!
Something bad will happen. The fabric of time will... It's so vague.
It is vague.
I don't know. Awful things. If we don't get Barbie back to Barbie Land, we've got to. Okay, I guess. So they kidnap her and they're trying to put her back in a box. Okay. And, oh no, but I can't do that. I'm going to get out of here. And she runs and, well, oh my God, wait. We didn't talk about Anne Roth.
That's right.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Probably the best scene in the movie.
Yeah. Because it was the most earned and real.
Yeah, so Margot Robbie's having ennui and saying, wow, I really don't even know who I am or what the world means anymore. My life is upside down. A child just called me a fascist and, There's an older woman on the bench next to her and she goes, you're beautiful. And Anne Roth just goes, I know. And I was like,
yeah.
You're so beautiful. I know it.
You don't need to tell me thank you.
I know.
I know. Thanks. Oh, because Anne Roth, famous costume designer extraordinaire, who we talked about or will talk about potentially in the near future.
Correct.
We will talk about her in a summer camp episode.
Love it.
Before we had seen this movie.
I know. Crazy.
We were talking about Anne Roth.
I was like, Avaryl, what are the fucking odds?
Wild stuff.
Yeah.
But yes, she runs through the building.
Oh, that was so stupid.
It was
Will Ferrell was awful in this.
Well, he wasn't a character.
No.
He's not the villain.
No, because then he also later on is like, no, I want women to be...
Oh, God,
I was like,
I don't even know.
Why can't he just be a villain
Just
and
make
he's
him
an
awful.
asshole?
Just make him terrible.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Make him be corporate bad guy. That's fine.
But no, he's idiot, useless.
But he couldn't be because he's the head of Mattel.
Exactly.
And they didn't...
Exactly. So it's like, you're like, ooh. I really thought that the plot with America Ferrera was going to be, where did these drawings come from? We have no context for her drawing. She's an assistant.
Right.
Like, we see her doing it, but there's no, like, I wanted to be a designer or not really.
She said that she tells her daughter that she was, like, feeling
briefly
ennui, and so she found them, and then she was using them to draw, adult coloring books. I don't know.
No, yeah, but I thought that was going to turn into something. Like, we never really got to hear what her ennui was necessarily triggered by, other than just...
I think it was that her teenage daughter was a
full-on
coont.
Sure, but show me that then.
They did show us.
She was like, don't touch my hair, Mom. She wasn't like, fuck you, Mom, blah, 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 blah.
I think we saw enough scenes to be like, oh, they are not,
No, but the mom wasn't there. She said all that to Margot Robbie.
You could tell just from the flashbacks or whatever that, like,
I'm saying I think they should have been the main characters of the movie.
Well, I agree. Where was the working girl plot line or whatever it is where it's like, okay, does she just want to be an assistant? Does she want to do more?
Right.
Or is she being held back and she only gets to be an assistant while the boardroom is full of all of these men at Mattel who are making choices about Barbie and she has all these ideas but no one will listen to her? Let's explore that a little. But then
it's obvious and basic, but that works sometimes. That's okay. It's a movie. Like, sometimes I'm like, just be a movie.
Exactly.
Just entertain me and be a movie, please.
And I liked the speeches, but they were preachy, particularly because the plot hadn't led us anywhere for them to be warranted. It was like, show me the emotional, cathartic, journey that this character went on because of these things, and instead it was like set pieces. It was a lot of set pieces, and Will Ferrell being stupid and chasing her through it was dumb.
We're chasing her through the building. I fell into a time portal ? And now
we forgot about Rhea Perlman.
Here's Rhea Perlman, who I love Rhea Perlman, but suddenly we're in, I don't know, heaven? Some sort of, the like magic and logic. Like it had kids movie logic with like adult politics. So it just was like this weird where you're like, well, I guess who cares? Wait, but we're talking about really serious things, so I should care. I'm so conflicted by what's happening.
That's interesting. Because I do think I went in not expecting... I mean, I knew it was going to have a feminist
I knew it
point
would
of
have
view
a
or
feminist
whatever,
point of
right?
view.
Right?
Like, I knew that.
I knew that. And so I wasn't like, wow, this is really going for it. I knew that was going to happen. And then I also didn't care that it was dumb because I was like, well, this is a dumb, popcorny, whatever kind of movie. So I guess for me, I just kind of was like, well, that was a wild ride. I laughed at those things. And there was a beautiful, reference to Singing in the Rain in that, like, trans flag dance sequence.
I don't know if I'd say it was beautiful.
Well, to look at it. You didn't think so?
I was bored by the dancing, and I was like, why are we still watching? Why does Ryan Gosling, Ken,
he
get two songs? The movies seem to think he was a lot funnier than I seem to think he was, which, subjective. I was like, I need you to stop and shut up because this is not working, and you're trying so hard, and the harder you try, the more I hate it. But at that point, I was like, another fucking musical now. And it was like West Side Story choreography, but Singing in the Rain,
Well, sure,
I was just like, I don't know what's going on. I mean, it was like wild. Oh,
We're gonna have a rumble tonight.
It was that, but it wasn't. Anyway, so she runs into Rhea Perlman, who is Barbie's creator.
Yes.
And she's basically like, here's some sage old advice. Go through there and run out the door and you'll get out of this building. I don't really remember what she told her.
There was something.
There was a lot of speeches, so I don't remember if she's the one that said, just be yourself, or if she's the one
Well, she has two speeches, too,
She's got multiple speeches.
Yeah. I forget the first time. I think it was kind of just like, let's sit down and have a cup of tea.
Right.
But it was nice. I don't know. I love Rhea Perlman. And
love Rhea Perlman.
I was excited to see her.
I was excited, yeah.
It was nice.
I was like, yay, Rhea Perlman. And then, for reasons unknown, Barbie takes America Ferrera and her daughter to Barbie Land.
Yeah.
You got me.
To figure it out. I forget. There was a reason. There was, but
I don't know.
It was...
I don't know if there was, but I'll take your word for it. And then Ken has already gone back to Barbie World.
Right.
And then for reasons unknown, Will Ferrell and his cronies have to go to Barbie World, even though they really just wanted Barbie to go back to Barbie World.
Yeah.
And now...
because they had kidnapped America Ferrera.
Ramifications. I don't think they knew that. It was dumb.
It was
There was no motivation.
No, it was too simplistic of a plot.
Yes.
And I do agree with that, where, like, first and foremost for me, a lot of things cannot work about a movie. Maybe the directing's not great. Maybe this isn't great, whatever. But have a good plot.
Have a plot.
Yeah, movies are first and foremost storytelling. So, like, tell a story.
Because this felt like 8 movies. It was so many ideas.
Yes.
It was all of the politics. It was all of the ideas. It was everything.
Yeah.
And I feel like then it really ultimately said very little because it was trying to say everything.
Right. Let's say I'm a 7-year-old Andrew. What am I supposed to take away from this?
I don't know. I want to be a real boy, Papa.
Right.
Oh my God! When the Pinocchio reveal happened at the end.
Wait, what?
You mean
when she...
her and Rhea Perlman are in heaven, and she's like, "I want to be a real girl," and she's just like, I was like, well, we were asking for a female Pinocchio for a while there. Remember back when there was so many Pinocchios, we had said, God, have they ever tried to do it with a girl, like a girl doll?
I didn't know that.
We said that.
Did we really?
Yeah, in one of some Pinocchio.
There's
or maybe
too many.
Maybe we didn't film it. We've had a conversation where at some point flippantly we were like, what if they did a girl Pinocchio? What would that look like?
Barbie. Actually, if we think about it that way, this is kind of a Barbie Pinocchio.
A Pinocchio story.
A Barnocchio. Barbocchio?
Hinarbi.
No.
No.
Well, because it seems like, obviously they're aware, right? All of those, I'm going to beat you off if you beach me off, because we're beaching off together.
Yeah.
So the movie's like, obviously aware of the homoeroticism of Ken and all of the above.
All right, Ken, you're on. Let's beach off.
Anyone who wants to beach him off has to beach me off first.
I will beach both of you off at the same time.
I was just really waiting for it to be, I guess, like, they did some things of referencey or jokey of, like, how people played with Barbies, right? But I wanted more.
Give me more.
And, like, I guess it would have been fun to have a little bit more, like, Toy Story-ness to it.
I was just going to say, like, Andy has more personality playing with his toys than anything that's going on with the play in this movie, you know? And again, if you're going to open these broad doors of like, whoever's playing with that specific doll, like we can't get into the weeds on this.
Right.
How many stereotypical Barbies are there? Is she the one that represents them all? So how could she be, you know, it's like, it's too much.
Right. I guess it was supposedly that there was
I wanted them to
rift in the
simplify.
space-time continuum or whatever that caused that specific manifestation through the, but then like how come weird Barbie
How come
existed?
weird Barbie isn't breaking the time whatever,
Right.
you know, it's just like they opened too many doors for me to ask questions and then had no answers. And I was like, oh no, I don't know what's happening.
Yeah.
Speaking of Kate McKinnon,
okay,
I loved in concept and the idea of it, but I really think they could have taken it even further and been like, I think she should have literally only been in the splits. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, just like they needed to just go that much further with it. And the hair wasn't quite, like the wig, they didn't do it right.
It needed
like,
to look like it was fully chopped
been
with
fully
scissors.
dull scissors that you know, like, and it's high up on here and it's over here. And like the makeup wasn't quite the markers that you drew on her face. Like they needed to really make that sing for me.
Yeah.
And I wish they had. And or who's playing with Weird Barbie? I want to hang out with her.
Sure.
That's what, like, I'm going, what little girl's playing with Weird Barbie? Can she be my friend? Because I'm into it. Because that's, you know, we all did it.
Yeah. Issa Rae was President Barbie.
Right. And she was fine. Like, nobody was bad, but they had nothing to do.
Right. They didn't have any conversations as, like, friends. They didn't
like,
actually
honestly,
hang out.
I don't know if this movie passes the Bechdel test. I mean, I'm sure it does. But you know what I mean? Like, there was
They are
something
always
where
talking about Ken.
They're always talking about Ken. They're always talking about, like, nothing, really. Just, hi, you know, I don't know.
Yeah.
It felt strange.
It's true.
Like, their friendship was because we're girls.
Yep.
Okay, what else you got going on?
Yeah, tonight's a girls' night. Okay, what are you doing?
What's
and it
going
is
on?
interesting, right? I mean, like, the jokes about, please explain to me about The Godfather. I've never seen The Godfather.
Right.
Ooh, are you guys watching The Godfather?
The Godfather.
Those all felt so dated, too, though.
Well, right, they're
no,
millennial
I know,
jokes.
but, okay. All right. You know, okay. It was very clear that older people wrote this movie, I guess, let's say that.
Yes.
Older, sort of like highbrow people, right?
Yes.
Who are like
Greta Gerwig.
Who find themselves fancy. Okay, so here's the thing. I don't think I like Greta Gerwig's movies. And that's just, I just don't think they're for me, and that's absolutely fine. I did not connect with Lady Bird. I wasn't that girl. That's fine.
Yeah.
But, you know, there is something where it feels like you have to be connecting to this or else you're not a feminist or something. Like, and I don't even necessarily think that's Greta Gerwig's fault. I'm just thinking, like, you know, if anyone's, now suddenly she's a feminist filmmaker, that's her brand.
Sure.
You know, and so it just has this weird...
I mean, I think she's just writing that because...
Sure,
you
go
know
for
what?
it, girl.
It helped
Hey,
her get the highest
that's
grossing
fine.
Catherine Bigelow who, right?
I was going to say Penny Marshall, but yeah.
Well, I would... Or,
Penny Marshall was the first $100 million...
Oh, really? Good for her.
You know, grossing...
Female
twice.
Yeah. League of Their Own
and Big.
Oh, wow. I never liked Big, but I was a child. So I feel like if I watched Big now, I might...
Well, it's one of those where it shouldn't work.
Right.
Right? Like, all the pitfalls of, well, I shouldn't be like this... what? I feel like this Barbie could have used a little more Penny Marshall. You know,
really
it needed a little more, just like, but also movies.
Well, right. It is fair. Where's the movie?
Where is it? I don't know where it
What's
went.
the story?
I don't know. I want to be a real girl.
Right, well, I mean, yes, but also, like, even then that could have, if that were the full story.
But it wasn't. It was 8 other movies.
Right. We end up with Ken.
Well, Ken gets the biggest arc in the movie.
Yeah.
The whole movie is surrounded around women having to explain to men and help them grow and be like, let me take you over this threshold.
Yes.
Which is, it's not a completely untrue thing, but also there's men that can evolve by themselves. Yeah. That's a thing too.
Yeah. Well, and that's, again, like, for me, what I liked about her speech to him of you need to, like, examine who you are and find you is what I find often is a queer thing.
Sure.
Of, like, you know, I have to now examine who I am as a person because I don't fit in the normal Barbie box, right? That is a theme, right? I'm different. Who am I?
Yeah.
They didn't do a great job of that, and particularly because they didn't explore any of the queer thematics.
No.
And I also felt like he wanted her love, right? And it was like, well, if I can't have you, then I'm going to ruin everything and control you, or whatever it was.
I'm just Ken. friend.
It was a weird situation where they're in this odd, bizarro land where there's literally no one else. Like, for him, they are paired together.
How many Barbies, what's the ratio of Barbies to Kens?
Right.
And again, now we're getting into like, okay, if she's stereotypical Barbie, which I thought was a little rude that they were, like the original Barbie was a fashion model.
Oh.
That was her job.
Oh.
Because all of the clothes, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, well, that's her, like, what's Margot Robbie's job? Being perfectly beautiful. That's it. Like,
whereas she should be a fashion model.
That's it. Oh, I'm a fashion model. Oh, I'm worldly, I'm traveled. Or is that her end goal? Or is she find that empty now? Or does she like that? Or
Right, we don't know anything about any of them.
Nothing.
Aside from job title.
Well, so I was saying Ken feels completely, disempowered.
Right.
Utterly. And so it's like, okay, if her purpose is to be stereotypical Barbie and his purpose is to be and Ken, then is it like the creator that gave him this is my only existence kind of thing? I guess.
Know. I guess. But that's where it felt really odd to me, where on one hand, it was, for me, his behavior was modeling this really toxic, kind of like incel type behavior of, you don't want me, then fuck you, bitch, kind of thing. Then I'm gonna fucking take over your house. I'm gonna
is black or white.
Exactly.
Right? Oh, now that misogyny's been introduced to Barbie Land, all the women are completely, now I'm a bimbo.
I'm a brainwashed,
brainwashed Stepford wife, and you're like, wait, what?
Yeah, it was just a little.
Okay, it's all or nothing.
I would have appreciated a more nuanced conversation of, I don't want to be with you.
Right. She
That's
didn't
okay.
seem to like him
at all. And she kind of says, I don't want to be with you, but then he's like, well, I have no purpose then in my life. He has nothing else but Barbie. So what's he supposed to do now? And she goes, oh, well, you need to find who you are. Ken, you're more than just beach. But how is he supposed to do that?
He has no tools. Like, they needed to have their character arcs in the middle of the movie.
Yes.
Have some split, break, that forces them to both evolve, because I didn't feel that much of an evolution from her. There's no way to do this right? If you cast perfect Margot Robbie as stereotypical Barbie, people are mad because, well, why aren't you...
Right.
But then also do women who look like Margot Robbie, they're also dismissed. You know, that scene where Margot Robbie's like, I don't feel beautiful right now.
Right.
And Helen Mirren, the narrator, has to come in and say, this point is really undercut by the fact that Margot Robbie's saying it. It's like, beautiful women can feel ugly too.
Yeah.
It was like it hated women and men. It hated everybody.
It did sort of hate everybody.
Right? It was so bizarre. I found it very strange.
Yeah.
We don't talk about Midge. She's pregnant. Okay.
But again, then she's just stuck here in this place where everyone hates her forever.
And no one apologized to her. They all apologized to Weird Barbie for being assholes.
Sorry we called you weird behind your back and to your face.
Well, and my argument would always be the fact that they were mean to her caused her to be more interesting. And I'm not saying people should enjoy people being mean to them, but you do need to evolve, and dealing with people who you don't get along with and that you do get along with, you can navigate and grow and learn to be, so that's why Weird Barbie was the most interesting Barbie.
Yeah.
Because everyone was a dick to her. But Midge, fuck Midge.
Right.
Fuck the pregnant Barbie. It was weird.
Right. They had more fun making the joke of, can you believe they made this Barbie?
They really liked that joke.
Without thinking about what that means for the plot and whatever, the world that they've created. Right. So in this utopian Barbie land, there's just a person who is constantly pregnant, and everyone dismisses her and no one acknowledges her.
It was very Don't Worry, Darling, because they're the same.
They are similar in a lot of weird ways.
They got incels. They've got they've got perfect utopias of idealized past times.
Yeah.
Everything is all or nothing. There's no in between. Men are trash. Like, that's the thesis. It's just men are trash. And I thought that was such a shame to have it be so basic in a movie and to not show a counterpoint to that. Because if I'm a little girl watching this movie, because little girls are gonna go watch this movie, what do I leave with this movie? Oh no, men are terrible and gross and the world sucks and everyone is gonna hate me because I'm a woman, and even Barbie has problems.
Right. Right.
fuck, you know? I think Barbie has a lot of weight for a lot of people.
Yes.
Everyone played with Barbie and have all these emotions wrapped up in it and everything. It just tried to do too many things.
Too many things.
A couple more things. One,
Yeah.
what if Julie Taymor directed this?
Yes.
Okay, yes. Okay. Two, how come when America Ferrera and daughter, whose honestly name we should know, but the movie did not did not make her.
I don't know either of their character names.
No. How come when they went to Barbie Land, they were like, oh, cool. Like there was no.
There was no like, oh my God.
I mean, somewhat at that point, Ken had made it
Right.
somewhat terrible, but still, you've gone into you
alternate dimension.
You traveled on a boat and you went to a different dimension.
Yeah.
And you're kind of like, oh yeah, let's go.
Yeah, it was a little under. It was muted, the reaction. Yeah.
And then when Will Ferrell and them showed up, like maybe it's that some portal opened up in Venice Beach for magic, right? And somebody goes through to Barbie Land, and that causes it. It's simplify.
Yeah.
We needed to simplify it.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. Speaking of Will Ferrell, it's like an elf-like plot to this.
Oh yeah.
You know, where it's like, oh, he comes from a magical land, and then he shows up in the real world, fish out of water. Oh my gosh.
It's pretty basic, but
but Elf does such a better job.
No, this was so convoluted.
But also because part of that is that it's an actual fish out of water. So if she, magically comes over, and then America Ferrera is her, fish out of water ombudsman of welcome to the real world.
Sure.
Crazy lady who
and then
thinks she's Barbie.
Sort of like a more of a buddy movie,
exactly.
Right?
Right.
Yeah.
That's in Elf he falls in love with her and whatever. But like
they really could have just copy-pasted the plot of Life Size,
yes.
and it would have been fine.
It would have been fine.
And they still could have inserted some ideas,
yep.
and it would have been okay.
Yep. Yeah.
Now, I have a question for you.
Okay, great.
Did you play with Barbie?
Not really. I think my sister might have had a few that I probably definitely, I was a Toy Story hodgepodge kid. And
okay.
I played with Legos and Brio trains that I would play with.
I had a collection of realistic looking frogs, salamanders, and lizards that also had their own soap opera. So it really wasn't specific to
A Bug's Life.
any kind of human Barbie situation.
Reptile's Life? No, I love that.
So all I'm saying is it didn't, for me at least, it really did not matter what the toy was.
Right.
I put my ideas into said toy or whatever.
But again, I think because it's the Barbie movie, they're not going to do that.
Of course not. Of course not. But that would have been interesting to be like, okay, here's the plot. This is my movie, right? Two girls that used to be best friends in elementary school and used to be the same have split. They don't get along anymore. They're not friends anymore. They're too different. One of them's this way, one of them's that way. But they're still kind of playing with Barbie, right? But now they're playing with Barbie differently. And now Skipper and Barbie, or whoever, now they're not getting along. Now what's going on with here? And we parallel the real world, and then by the end, they either, grow to realize that being friends with different people is a fun, exciting thing, or sometimes you grow up and you don't want to be friends with the same people, and that's fine. Something in that where it's just simplified, and there's more parallels. If you've introduced the fact that Barbie Land exists, and that they're somehow affecting each other, then make them affect each other.
Right.
It was very strange.
It was weird that it was just these 3 drawings that affected everything.
The whole world.
A magical paper.
Maybe. No, just give me that. Just say, this is Rhea Perlman's notepad that I found in the file cabinet.
Absolutely.
And she hasn't used it since she died.
Yep.
But guess what? America Ferrera found it. Give me something.
Yeah. Yeah, love that. Maybe they do actually have personalities, though. It would be
really nice.
If it was like, I'm Issa Rae, President Barbie, who also has thoughts and feelings and opinions and, a personality of her own.
It could have been cool.
It would have been nice. Yeah. Right? And then they're all like, all of a sudden, people just start showing up, and it's like, who the fuck is the pervasive thoughts of death Barbie?
Yeah, what
and
is
you're like,
happening?
What's going on?
Oh no, yeah.
Maybe there's like some weird, she draws. It's not a Barbie. It's like
it's in a different medium or something.
Right,
it looks
exactly.
a little different.
Yeah. You're like, what's this now?
A Bratz doll shows
and everyone's freaking out in Barbie Land. They're like, what's going on? Where are these people coming from?
Do a montage throughout time, right? Okay, this is what Barbie Land was like in the 50s. This is what Barbie Land was like in the 60s, and have it like sort of progress. So we've set up the cause and effect of things.
Yes. Yeah.
That could have been cool.
That could have been nice.
We start in black and white. You know, it's
Yeah,
pretentious, but let's do it. So, yeah.
Complicated.
I would happily watch this on mute in a bar.
Sure.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
I would watch it on a plane for sure. If I necessarily have to see it, it's not going to be like a repeat, you know, oh, I'm going to keep watching that Barbie movie. I wish this movie had a lot more Barb and Star going on.
Oh my God, tell me about it. Ooh, now, Jamie Dornan as Ken.
This fire that's raging inside me. Seagulls in the sand, can you hear my prayer?
I mean, I think both him and Ryan Gosling are probably too old.
Of course.
But, you know.
Of course.
It was just, it was too much. There was too much happening. But no plot.
Right, no plot. That's the biggest.
That was my
the biggest problem.
complaint.
If you're doing too much, but there's a plot that underlies it all that
Yeah.
makes sense, then it's okay. But if you're doing too much and there's a plot doesn't make any sense, then we start to really have problems.
But anyway.
Yeah.
Cheers.
To Anne.
To Anne Roth. Yes.
You're so beautiful. I know it.